Hey everybody, Chris Bailey here with Steven Svets, my assistant, for your midday exercise break from physical therapy and balance centers in Erie and Corey, Pennsylvania. So yesterday we did quite a bit with the upper body. We did some exercises for the arms, the shoulders, and a little bit of the upper chest. So today what we're going to do is to do some exercises for the upper back and mid back and some stretches for that area. We had some questions about what are good exercises for pain in this area. We call it the thoracic area, which is basically the area above your low back to your neck. So the first thing that we're going to do, just like every day, just a 2-minute warm-up. So Steven's just going to start, we're just going to start with a slow march like this, or like a walk in place, for about 2 minutes. If this is pretty easy for you, you can just go to some jumping jacks, which will get the heart rate up a little bit higher and get your blood flowing a little bit better. Good. I'll do the easier one. Thanks, Vets. So we'll do 2 to 3 minutes of this. And what we're going to do is we're going to start to post these on YouTube. So once we're done today, you can actually go onto the computer. These are going to be saved. And you'll be able to see this one. We'll call this mid-back exercise routine. Okay? So we'll go through a few more minutes of this. Now, as Svets is doing that, I'm just going to start talking about the next exercise. Okay? It's going to be to stretch out the lats in through here. It also stretches the back part of the shoulder. And it gets a little bit of the trunk stretched out. Okay? Okay, good, Steve. So we're going to do the side bends, all right? Okay. So I want to do 10. We're going to do 10. You're going to do just like this, going over the top. You're reaching up towards the sky with this. So as he's going over that way, good. And we're just doing about a 2 to 3 second hold with each of these. The big part of this exercise is with the hand that's reaching upwards, you want to try and aim for a spot on the ceiling and try and reach that hand up towards that direction. It really works to stretch more. I feel it all the way down here to the pelvis area like this. People can feel it in through here. It just depends on where you're tight. So I want him to do 10 of those to either side. If this bothers you, if you have sore shoulders, if you can't reach up that high, you can simply just bend to the side with your arms at your side like this here, okay? Just back and forth like this. If your balance is a little bit off, I'd suggest just widening your stance a little bit so you don't have to stand with your feet so close together, and that should help. Okay, so what we're going to go to next is we're going to do a strengthening exercise for the muscles on the outside of the trunk and through here. So I'm going to have you use that bottle of cleaner there. People at home, you can use a gallon container. Okay, so what you're going to do is I'm just going to use one weight at a time. If you don't have the weights, you could also just use a can of soup or something else light that you have at home. So if you hold that in one hand, I'll start on the left just like Steven is. You're going to bring your opposite hand towards your knee like this here. Hold just for a second and come back just to straight up and down. And then you'll repeat that for about 10 times. Okay? So we're going to do one set of 10 on either side. So as we're doing this one here, what I want you to focus on is trying to tighten these muscles on the side opposite the weight as you do this. So in Steven's case, he's tightening these abdominal and intercostal muscles out through here to the side. That's where you should feel it. And you should feel it here too when you return to that starting position. Sometimes you see people doing it really fast like this, and you don't get the maximal effect on the muscles on the outside of the hip. The other problem that I see people do commonly is they'll use 2 weights. And what goes on with this is one weight counteracts the other, so you're really not strengthening the muscles on the opposite side. So just use one weight at a time. Good, Steve, turn to the other side for 10. So that bottle that Steve has, it's about like 8 pounds worth of weight. If you have heavier weights at home, you could use those. Another option is if you have some band, exercise band, or quite a few people who have that, you could put it underneath of your foot on one side, grab it by the other side, and go like this with the exercise band. And we'll show a couple other movements with the bands here in a little while too for some other mid-back exercises. Good, did you get 10? Yeah. Maybe, not counting? Okay, 10. Close. All right, so the next one we're going to do is more of a stretch, but it also works the trunk muscle. So I'm going to go to the side. So with this one here, what we're going to do is you'll try to find a chair with some armrests, and you're going to rotate to one side. You'll grab a hold of the left side with your right arm, and now I'm just twisting that trunk, trying to get as much rotation to the left side as I can. And then you'll just switch over to the other side. I give this about a 2 or 3 second hold. What I find a lot of times is when people get tightness through the trunk and through the mid-back, they lose their ability to rotate like this, especially as we get older. We don't twist and stretch like that. It affects our breathing, it affects our posture. So this is a great one too if you're stuck at home, if you have a home office set up, or if you just find yourself sitting quite a bit. You don't necessarily need a chair with an armrest. If you don't have the armrest at home, what you can do is you can just use your leg as a counter lever. So I'm just going to grab the opposite leg here and I'm going to pull and twist this direction. And then just do the same to the other side. So if you just have a normal kitchen chair, you can use that. It works really well too. So about 10 times to either side with that. Okay, now the next one, Steve, I'm going to show them is the thoracic extensions and sitting. So go ahead and just, let's spin the chair that way, okay? And I'm just going to explain it. And I'm going to have you bring your arms behind your head. This right here, if people have pain in the mid-back and through this area here, you're going to try and find that painful spot and put it at the top level of that chair. If it's higher or lower, sometimes you can use a counter area, sometimes you can use a little cushion, something to push you up if it's a little bit lower and don't hit that spot. So he'll reach behind his head like this. He's going to bring his elbows up towards the ceiling here. And what he's trying to do with this is stretch out this area and through here. What you really want to focus on with this and where you really get the best stretch is when you reach those elbows up towards the ceiling, kind of like we reached with our hand to the side. With this one, he's just really trying to extend those elbows back. And we have people do about 10 of these, just at that nice speed that Steven's doing there. A little tightness and even a little bit of pain at first is okay, as long as that starts to improve as you do more of those. So this right here, out of the question that the woman had just the other day, this is probably the #1 mid-back exercise we do for pain relief here at our clinic. So I'd really suggest this one if you find yourself having some stiffness or pain in through this area through there. So just do a couple more there, Stephen, with that one. And then after you get done with that, Steve, what I want you to do is we're going to go into just the shoulder blade row. And you can do that in that sitting position from the forward view, and I'll show it from the side. Okay. So we're just going to do just a hold for a couple of seconds, and I'm just going to talk you through it. So what Steven's doing, we just call this a shoulder blade row. The idea of this is it's kind of the motion of rowing a boat. What you do here is you start to work the muscles in the mid-back through here. What they do is they help to keep the shoulder blades back. A lot of us are starting to get more and more forward posture with a lot of the work we do on computers and cell phones. So with this here, you'll want to pull back. You don't necessarily need weights with this one. It's just a good exercise to do if you find yourself in this forward position quite a bit. So I'll have people really try and pinch your shoulder blades together. They'll hold for about 2 or 3 seconds and then just return to kind of a normal sitting position, but with their arms still held in this position. So Stephen can keep going through that one. If you have some exercise bands at home, this is an easy way to do this exercise. So I'm just going to come over here to this full calorie. You can use a banister at your house. You can have somebody hold this, although you better trust them because if they let that go, it can kind of hurt a little bit. So what you'll do here is you're just going to get a little bit of resistance as you row like this. So if you find the other one too easy for you to do, or if you want a little bit more of a strengthening routine, you can go to this row like this, okay? And I usually do at least 10 of these. I might do 2 sets of 10 with this. If you don't have the bands, you can just do them like Steven was doing sitting there. Oh, hey, Carla. She kind of got the picture the other day. This is Carla. So, last part of this is, I want to show you in the sitting position what you can do. Better posture helps low back, mid back, neck. So I want to have you can use a pillow for this at home. This is a lumbar support that we have here. You can get them on Amazon, we sell them. Well, you used to be able to get them on Amazon, you might have to wait a couple months as it is now, but just use a pillow if you have it. Couch pillows work pretty well. You want it to be fairly firm. So the idea with this is you put it in a chair like this. This chair is okay by itself, but what happens is you find yourself sitting more in this position. That puts quite a bit more of a strain on the mid-back. So you'll take something like this. You'll put it just behind your low back, so it's probably a couple inches up from the seat surface right at your belt line. And you'll scoot your butt back in the chair, and now you're just going to sit back against it like this. And this is just more of a day-to-day posture to help with that mid-back pain. So even if you're sitting in a recliner, we'll tell people, don't get in a recliner and recline back like this, slump forward. Try and get a pillow behind your back like this, behind your low back, and it will correct your mid-back and your neck
position as well. And this is a really good pain relief position for you to use. So that's all for today's exercises. What I wanted to say is we had trouble with yesterday's audio, so I apologize. But we had a bonus question, a quiz question, and we had a couple of responses, but we're looking for a few more today. So this is for a free half of a month, a free 2-week sample of organic CBD. And the question is, what weighs more, a gallon of whole milk or a gallon of skim milk? And Callie's going to post it to our normal Facebook page too, so you can write in, and then we'll do a drawing with that. But the other thing that I want you to do is, if you know somebody who's not that active at home, or if you have friends that want to just move a little bit more and have some difficulty with their mid-back maybe, please share this message with them and try and get them to move a little bit more throughout the day. It'll boost their immune system and hopefully their mood a little bit. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I think we'll do some more movement with the lower body, and I'm going to show some new stretches for the back of the legs. Thanks.